Bangers Friday preview show in association with Leith Spirits. I'm Matty.
Hello, I'm Colin.
How are you doing today, Colin?
Good mate, aye. How are you?
Also good, yeah. Friday, looking forward to a good game tomorrow.
Mm.
Excited for it. It's gone for do you remember we were talking about it a couple of weeks back and we were looking at the run of games, and probably this was the one that I was most relaxed about because I was like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like Ibrox, you're not expected to win. We'll probably be all right. I actually thought we might have had a wee bit of a gap, like a wee bit more of a gap on Aberdeen than
Look
we
at
do.
that. Yeah.
But because we're only going into it with a point ahead of them, it sort of feels like this is a bit more important, and it would be better.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you'd want to take something for the game anyway, but it'd be better to go and like ideally come back with 3 points and then stay in third place no matter what Aberdeen do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're hoping results go our way. Um, anyway, right, well, I'll get our team predictions or selections up on the screen. Martin Metcalf said, "Hello, gents. Hope you're both top. Well, indeed, Martin. Good to see you." And hey from Ian there as well. Nice to see you too, Ian. Right, well, where do they share my screen? Here we go.
This is my team that's going to come up here, is it?
You're going to be up first. Right. I don't think that's the right screen, is it?
It's like I'm getting all three. I can see as if
Everything. Can you?
aye. Oh yeah.
Shambles.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Shambles.
So will I start reading my team out anyway? Or do you want me to wait?
Nah, but you can start reading it out. What I'll do is I'll bring
See
it
if I
up.
can remember it.
Here we go. I think I'm in
Smith
now.
and goals.
Right.
And then the usual back three. I say the usual. It's got Miller. I had Miller on the right with Rocky in the middle and Iredale on the left. And then I had Chris Cadden out right and Obita on the left.
Yep.
Giannis and Levitt in the middle, Campbell in front of them with Boyle and Bowie. Now, I did think about a few things because I'm reading between the lines that Nicky Cadden might be fit, but I don't think he'll come straight back in. So I think he'll be on the bench, right? That's why I'm going with Obita. He's a bit more defensive minded as well, right? As much as Cadden's a creator. I went with Levitt ahead of Mariah Welsh. I did think about Mariah Welsh, and I thought, well, I get a hard worker in there. But then I thought Levitt was really good last weekend.
He was.
And I know the level of opposition is almost nearly at the extreme in the league. Not quite, but nearly, right? But I still thought he done well enough to keep his place. But I was going with Levitt ahead of the Mariah Welsh for the hard working. But then, so here's my thinking, right? So Boyle and Bowie up front, right? I think that's that. Where I was considering was, do I go with Mariah Welsh? And if I go with Mariah Welsh, do I play Hoylett, right? Or do I play Levitt and do I go with Campbell? So I'm kind of balancing the hard work aspect there with being more of a ball player or a creator.
Yeah.
And that was my thinking. So I was never going to have Levitt and Hoylett playing. I was never going to have Mariah Welsh and Campbell playing. It was almost how do I balance it? Because Hoylett's capable of scoring goals for nothing. And Campbell less so. He can do it, but less so. And that was my dilemma there. But it was balancing in the midfield then. So we weren't too defensive, but we weren't. So aye, balance. Like I've said a few times now.
Balance.
Aye.
It's a key word. The key message today is balance.
Balance. Don't forget it.
I was just having a look there as you were talking to see who played in the middle in the 3-3 game.
Well, Campbell scored, didn't he? So he was playing.
So Campbell played, Janice played, and I was like, was it Mariah Welsh or was it Levitt? But it was Kwon.
Aye, was it?
Yeah. Kwon played in that game.
He's miles out the pitch on the way.
He is. I didn't really mind that because he's a lone player.
Yeah.
A wee bit disappointing what happened with Kwon, because when he had his first couple of games, I thought he looked really good. And then he just sort of fell away from things. To be fair, when I look at my team, right, so my team's more or less the same, right? So I've got Smith, Miller, Bashir, and Iredale, Cadden, Chance, Levitt, but I brought Nicky Cadden back in.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about that attacking threat, because he played against Rangers in the 3-3 as well, and he was good in that game. I can't remember I try to remember the game and how the goals came.
The last one was a penalty.
It was, wasn't it? And Boyle scored the other one with the knockdown for Rocky. What was the What was the one in between? Can you mind?
Eh,
Boyle scored both goals. It was
aye.
Boyle scored two, and Bashiri scored the other one. It was a header through the corner, just right at the end there to
Aye.
get the equaliser, of course. Um, but I thought Nicky Cadden up against Tavernier is probably what you'd want. I'd want to have Tavernier thinking about what we're doing going forward. I
Yeah.
don't think he does that so much if a beat up plays. That was kind of what my thinking was
That's a
there.
good shout. That's a good shout,
Um,
right? Because we know he's no good going that way.
aye, try to get him turned back. Chris
Mhm.
Cadden and Miller, I think, is good enough on the right hand side to keep Rangers quiet. Rangers are quite strong coming in the left, I think. Is it Jeffy? Is that Jeffy? Maybe one on the left. I think he's good going forward, but again, no great defensively. I brought Bowie back in for Kukovic, and I didn't think you'd get many arguments for that. Kukovic was all right at best against St Johnstone. Boyle did, sorry, Bowie didn't have a great game when he came on either, which is like the other thing to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah.
Um, and then Campbell, I brought in for his work rate. So I think Rangers midfield are busy.
Uh-huh.
When we got to 3-3, obviously we were 2-0 down against them with no time at all, and we had to shift how we were playing. Part of that was to get the midfield a bit closer to their midfield and try to kind of squeeze them a bit. So
Yeah.
Hoylett doesn't give us that, but Campbell will. Campbell will get back and get stuck in and just be busy and be in the way. And I think we need a bit of that to get anything for the game.
Mhm.
But I think a lot depends on how well we defend
It
against
is
them.
because frustrate them. Can I just interrupt and take this off a tangent? I've no yawned yet, and but I do want to apologise because I've just put a contact lens back in my
Saw
eye,
that,
and I never
saw
put
that
my
there.
camera off, and I thought that is going to annoy somebody. So I apologise that to anybody that's eating their dinner really early or their lunch late,
If you didn't want to
or
see
anybody's just squeamish in general.
somebody sitting poking a big finger in their own eye. Why would you not want to see that? Sandy said, afternoon, Matt and Colin. Matty's busy today on Observer duty. I was on the Observer as well. If you wanted to go and check that out, that's available on their channel for earlier on this afternoon. Mikey said, I'll miss the game tomorrow, but might get to hear it on the radio. A win will come is no surprise to me. They're vulnerable at the back. Loving the podcast, guys. Ian said, I'm with Joe, same as last week, but Bowie in for Miko. And Jeff has picked Smith Miller, Rocky Iredale, Chris Cadden, Giannis Levitt, Campbell, Obita, Bowie, and Boyle, which
It's
I
my
think is
team then.
the same team as yours, Colin.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad team at all, to be fair. Like, it's no,
Well,
although
it
I picked
depends if
slightly
Cadden's
different.
available. Like
Aye,
they've not said he is. I just get a sense like they've said who isn't, and they've said he'll be soon. And sometimes that's a
aye.
disguised message so that Rangers don't then line up to be defending against Cadden.
Throwing them a dummy, you mean?
Hmm.
Martin said Colin could never annoy anybody. Not sure
Thanks,
about
Martin.
that. Not sure about that, to be honest
Fucking
with
see my house. Fucking hell.
you. Right, we'll have a wee look at the form guide next, which is what we would normally come on. In fact, before we do that, I'm going to show you Sandy's team, Sandy emailed it in. So if you want to get involved with sending in a team, you can email us at longbangers@gmail.com and you'll see Sandy's team here. So Smith and goals, Miller, Bashiri and Iredale, Cadden, Chantis, Mariah Welsh and Abita, Hoylett, Boyle and Kukovic. So I think that's almost the same team as started against St Johnstone. And Mariah Welsh in for Levitt, and that's the only change.
Seems with Mariah Welsh and Hoylett there. That's, as I say, that was the other option in mine. I'm
Mhm.
not sure about Jurjevic, but I suppose he has played him against Rangers and Celtic, hasn't he?
Aye.
So he maybe fancies him in these big games to uh, knock folk about a bit, maybe soften them up.
I know I'm not adverse to it. Like I think Bowie gives us more, but Bowie wasn't brilliant against Kilmarnock, and he was
Yeah,
all right against St Johnstone. There was folk quite critical of him, but I thought he was all right. Maybe just guilty of trying a wee bit too hard. There was a few times like the ball got stuck under his feet, or he maybe just took like
yeah.
an extra touch when he didn't need to. But he did win a penalty, and he did tuck the penalty away nicely. Um, so he impacted the game. Kukovic might have that wee bit. I think Jeff made the point last night. They might have that wee bit where he wants to make amends for last time we were at Ibrox and he fluffed the penalty.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't mind it. He scored at Celtic Park. He's like a player that has got potential to kind of go and do something there.
He scored in a derby as well. He scored in the
Mhm.
first derby. I mean, they're not. It's not like spectacular goals. Well, actually, the header at Parkhead wasn't it?
Aye, it was a good goal.
But other than that, but still, he has scored in the big games, and he has played in the big games. So it's maybe one we're dismissing, and well, both of us never picked him. But Gray does seem to pick him for these games.
Aye. Form guide here. So I mean, we're still sitting nicely at the top of that.
Yep.
Gray got manager of the month again. So
Mm.
I'd seen, I can't remember if it was on the WhatsApp group, somebody had said it was the first time a Hibs manager got three since Tony Mowbray. But then it was reported, I think, in the Observer that it was the first time it's happened at all. Three times in one season,
Is it?
which is
Yeah.
some going. What
Yeah.
he deserves it, yeah. I mean, there's no real
I well look at
argument, is there?
that form table's kind of showing why. I guess like everybody else has got two defeats.
Mhm.
Well, Aberdeen's got one, but two draws. So I mean, yeah, but based on that alone, I would say so. And there's a win against Celtic and Hearts in there.
Aye.
You
The
know,
thing,
it's not just like you're beating the. It's not even like we will say beat the rest. It's like we've
aye.
actually beat the bigger teams.
Well, there's Dundee United, Hearts, and Celtic, three top six teams in
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
we beat all of them.
And that was when we were sitting doing previews. We were going, well, we're taking 4 points for those
Aye.
three games and stuff. We got 9. So, it's just
The
disappointing with the two draws, eh? Like, and I keep saying it, and it feels greedy, but it's like they're the ones we need to win. Like, it's so frustrating. We should have third wrapped up almost already.
I think that's a valid, not complaint, but observation, though, isn't it? You look at where we've have drop points there. Kilmarnock, who
Yeah,
um, are sitting bottom of the form guide, and St Mirren, who are like seventh in the form guide, but with a couple of like big defeats in there as well. So it is frustrating. If we take care of those games, we're clearing third. We're probably looking at almost third being like no certain, but odds on for the end of the season. What I wanted to call out, Colin, with Rangers, look how many goals they're conceding.
sorry, mate. My dog's gone mental. What can I start repeat that
All right.
question?
Basically, just ask you, woof.
That's all good here. I've been waiting on a delivery like for 2 days, right? And of course, when does it come?
Oh,
Bang in the
that,
middle of this.
that
Bang in the
happened to
middle
me
of this.
earlier on the
Yeah,
Observer. Aye.
so
Um,
frustrating.
right, Rangers concede a lot of goals.
Yes.
Was what I was going to do. Like, if you see how many there, like, so they scored 15, conceded 12. We're a team that's scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
That does sort of give some cause for optimism, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think, I mean, Rangers score a lot as well as concede, though, don't
Mm-hmm.
they? Like look at their scores there: 4-3, 3-2, 4-2. It is. I think they're a bit hate them, scare them, aren't they? Like I think that obviously the coaches are getting away with it on the at Rangers now because they're all like the media's pals and media's favourites, aren't they? Like they work in the fucking media when they've not got a job actually, apart from wee Barry. But the rest of them are they're not getting any negative publicity despite leaking goals like that, purely because they'll be back in the BBC in a couple of
Mm-hmm.
weeks' time. Um, so I think we've got to look at that and think. So that's the thing, right? I've kind of went with a balance, and you go, well, do you go attacking? But I think it's more important to frustrate them, like, and let the masses revolt even more. Um, Tomorrow, and then we could maybe pick a couple off when they start, because they'll just start throwing bodies forward. Because I don't think they're that well coached. You know what I mean? I
No,
think they'll just like fucking chuck the bodies forward and give Dessers millions of chances, and they might take one of them. Whereas we've got to like when they do that, we could start picking them. Look at Dundee last week. I watched the second half of it. It was like a basketball game, eh? They're
it
just
was.
like, and that I don't think we can let it go like that. I think we need to stop them coming forward, but we want to make sure we're doing the hitting them on the counter. Just give them the ball and sort of deal with it like we did against St Johnstone.
Mhm. I think Rangers scored a couple of goals for distance as well, didn't they, against Dundee? Because they've got players that are capable of that, and
Yeah,
that sort of swung the game back in their favour. So we need to be wary of that. But we're not conceding like it. The last 6 matches there, we're the team that's conceded the least in the league.
Yeah.
So we're quite mean. We didn't even concede like a lot of chances. And I kind of like touch wood, and you're almost tempting fate with discussions like this because you can what can happen. And we've
Yeah.
seen it before. Like we've gone to Ibrox and been in relatively good form and then come away with like a bit of a hiding. But like St Johnson, I talked about it last night on the phone in. The Observer having their Monday review of the game. They do the XG race,
Yeah. I heard you
which is
talking about it.
which is like chances over time. Like and you see Hibs can just like an upward trend like this, and St Johnstone is almost flat at zero. I mean, St Johnstone didn't get a shot on target the whole game, and I think
Yeah.
generally we don't concede that many chances. So if we can maintain our defensive shape and then be clinical when we go forward, there's probably scope for it to be like a really good afternoon for us.
Aye. Aye. 1-0 will do. Like.
Yeah, take 1-0.
Uh,
You take 3-2 or a 4-3 like in our favour.
yeah.
I'm not really bothered about conceding if we can go and outscore them. But I think we've got to have that in our mind that when we get the ball, didn't waste it. Like we speak about being brave quite a lot on the ball, and I think this team tends to be quite brave on the ball. It's
Yeah.
maybe the advantage of having some experienced players in the team now that we can go ahead and do it. And fancy is when we do get possession that we can go and cause some damage. How do you see the game going?
Well, I'm hoping, like as I started describing there, we can keep them quiet, and maybe sneak a couple. But I'd love that to happen. I don't know if it will. It's as much as they've still been picking results up, but they're a bit shite. But just the quality player they have is
Mhm.
still better than But I think they are more. I don't think they're really like we're a team. We're better than some of the parts and all that we've mentioned over the past. So I think that helps. I think the Rangers they're all out for it. They're selling out their contracts and
Yeah,
stuff. They're
aye,
not a team. They're not playing for anything. They've got second place. They can't win any cups. They're just all about how do I get a next pay rise, my next move, or a job if you're on the management and the coaching staff. Um, so I think that point is because we've got something to play for, because we're a team, because we're motivated and we're well coached and stuff like that. Um, I think we could come away with a 2-1.
2-1. Take that. I think that's a good point that you make about Rangers. We've seen it when it's an uncomfortable afternoon for them. There's a few of them there because they've got nothing to play for. They just think,
Aye.
okay, how quick can we get this?
When's it 5 o'clock?
Aye, we'll get off the pitch and get up the road as quick as I
Yeah.
can, and we want to probably give them an afternoon like that. Uh, Ian says Bowie needs minutes before we see the best of him. RW said, "What's happening with Yuan?" So we don't know where Yuan's still unavailable.
Mm.
Don't know exactly why that is. Don't know whether it's a case of he's fit but not in the right place, and Hibs didn't want to play him, or
Mm.
whether he's still injured. It's yeah, who knows?
It's
I
weird
don't
they
know.
don't say it away. Like we get
Aye,
updates on injury. Joe Newell will be on in a few weeks and blah blah blah, but they never really get into why Yuan's not playing, which then creates the suspicion. And then you read Hibs.net and there's folks saying like sort of casting doubt over um why he's out. Like
yeah,
like he doesn't want to play and all that kind of stuff. And you think, just tell us what it is. Like if he's injured, he's injured. You say he is.
yeah.
Um,
Ian said, I think if we sit back, they will drub us. We need to put them under pressure on and off the ball. San says it's a 6 pointer. Any of these team selections would do well. Strength of Hibs is the squad. Come on, the Highbies 3-2 will do. Uh, RW said, is it a must not lose game given United have two easy games coming up? United are maybe the dark horses in that because I've always been looking at Aberdeen, and Aberdeen, I think they play Dundee United tomorrow, and then
Aberdeen do,
I
do they?
think so. Is it Dundee United or is it Dundee they play?
I think Dundee playing Hearts, do they not?
Oh, are they? I maybe got it wrong. I can't
Aberdeen
think.
are away to Ross County.
Oh, wait, Ross County, right enough. And then they're at
Hearts
home to
Dundee United on
Rangers.
Sunday, I think.
Aye. So Aberdeen, you would think are probably favourites for their game, and
I
I'd
was
be
waiting on
looking at them.
County, hard place to go, mate.
Aye, it is, but Aberdeen are in good form as well.
Does that
I,
matter?
I can,
Like,
I can what you're saying and the point that you're making. We'll see. I fancy Aberdeen to win that one.
mm,
I don't think it matters if we lose because Rangers have got to play Aberdeen the next game week. and you would take Rangers to win that one, I think.
Is it Ibrox?
Nah,
Is
Tawdry.
that a bit? I don't know. Like I don't know where the Rangers are at their heads. They'll be now looking when's the holidays? They'll have the travel agent on the lookout now for the holiday. Like they'll be on the beach soon.
Aye. Maybe I didn't want to approach it as a must-not-lose game, though. This is another thing. I
Yeah,
think that when you have, especially when you're on a run like we're on, where you
yeah,
like the unbeaten becomes more important than winning,
yeah, yeah.
and you're like just focus on, don't worry about anything else, just focus on getting the 3 points if you
I
can.
think we could lose this and still get third place.
I
Like,
think so as well. Aye, but I think then next week becomes really important,
mhm.
and we
It
need to
always
take care of.
was.
Aye, it was.
That's not changing what happens next week. Next week
Yeah,
is really important. Next week is we must win that game because it's a lower half of the league team at home. We've got to win that. Like tomorrow, as much as Rangers are playing well, and well, they're still winning games, but as much as they're like a bit of a shambles really for the outside, they're still got better players than these teams in the league because that's how they're still clearing second place, even though they've
this
had
is
quite
true.
shite.
Aye, even though they've had like by all accounts a bit of a rad season.
Aye, and I know they beat Celtic recently, but that isn't it. That's because they found a way to play Celtic and they've got the players that are capable of doing it on a one-off game, but they can't play like that against us. It just wouldn't
No,
work. That'd be like the heck and bottom setting traps for a team that didn't fall into the trap.
aye.
Um,
Okay, right. Well, you went with 2-1.
yeah,
Uh, oh, I don't think will happen. I've got a wee feeling it's gonna be a good afternoon for us, eh? So I'm gonna go for a 2-0 clean sheet. Aye, clean sheet, more comfortable than it should be. And back up the road with the 3 points, and everybody fucking thinking,
yeah,
imagine we'd started the season like this, we'd be challenging for the fucking title.
that's what I know.
Right, thanks, folks, for your comments. We're going to wrap up there. It's been good to see you. We're going to put this one out on the podcast players as well, by the way, just as a wee change, see if there's any interest there. So if you've not seen it on YouTube and you're hearing it, that's why. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next time.